She banged on the cabin door so hard the wooden frame shook. "Open up. You don't belong here." Her voice carried across the quiet lake, loud enough to make the birds scatter. I opened the door, calm but annoyed. And there she stood, arms crossed. Lips tight, eyes full of fake authority. She shoved a paper in my face. Scribbled with some HOA header she clearly printed on her home computer. "This property is restricted. You're trespassing. Pack your bags." I didn't say a word, just let her rant. She pointed at my truck parked by the dock. "Illegal vehicle. It'll be towed in 10 minutes. And don't think I won't call the sheriff." She pulled out her phone, already dialing. Behind me, a chair scraped against the cabin floor. Heavy footsteps approached, steady and deliberate. Karen's eyes flicked over my shoulder, confused but still smug. Then the door swung wider. And out walked the one man she never expected to see on a quiet Sunday morning. The state attorney general. He stood beside me, coffee in hand, looking straight at her. "You're threatening him. On his own land." His voice was calm but sharp, like a blade sliding from its sheath. Karen's smugness faltered, but she tried to recover. "Sir, this man is breaking HOA rules, and I..." "HOA," he cut her off, raising an eyebrow. "There is no HOA here. This cabin sits on state-protected land, and he happens to be my guest." Karen froze, phone still pressed to her ear. I swear for the first time, her face actually turned pale. "You called the cops?" I asked, finally speaking up. "Good. Let's wait for them." Her eyes darted between me and the Attorney General. Realizing too late she had picked the wrong door to pound on. And yet, I knew Karen wasn't done. People like her never back off after just one mistake. Karen lowered her phone slowly, trying to mask the panic behind a shaky laugh. "Oh. I think there's been some confusion. I was only making sure the neighborhood stays safe. We've had strangers before." The Attorney General didn't blink. He sipped his coffee, then said flatly, "Impersonating authority isn't confusion. It's harassment." Karen's fake smile twitched. "Well, if you're really who you say you are." She glanced at him suspiciously. "You won't mind if I ask the sheriff to confirm?" She hit call again, this time louder, as if she had backup on her side. Minutes later, the crunch of tires on gravel echoed across the cabin lot. A black SUV rolled in, lights flashing. Two men stepped out, but their uniforms looked off. Wrong badges, no real insignia. Karen folded her arms and smirked again. "See? Law enforcement. You're finished." The Attorney General didn't move. Neither did I. He just gave me a small nod, and I understood. "Wait. Watch." One of the fake officers barked, "Sir." HOA complaint filed. His partner walked toward my truck, hand already reaching for the tow latch. I finally spoke, steady and low. "You sure you want to touch that truck?" Karen laughed like she'd already won. "Do it. Tow it. Let's see how tough he is without his toy." But the Attorney General stepped forward, pulled a leather badge holder from his coat, and flipped it open with a snap. The gold seal gleamed in the morning sun. "You boys want to explain," he said coldly. "Why you're impersonating officers in front of the chief? Legal authority of this state." The silence that followed was heavier than the lake itself. Karen's smirk dropped so fast it almost hurt to watch. The two fake cops froze, their faces draining of color. And yet, instead of running, Karen doubled down. "He's lying. That badge is fake. Don't just stand there, arrest him." The Attorney General looked at me, almost amused. "Told you. She doesn't quit." But I wasn't amused. Because right then, I noticed something in the SUV, through the half-open trunk. A folder. Thick. Stamped with HOA letterheads. Dozens of them. This wasn't just a crazy neighbor with too much time. This was bigger. Much bigger. I stepped closer to the SUV, eyes locked on that folder stuffed with fake HOA notices. Karen noticed and instantly shifted, blocking my path with her arms out wide. "You don't have permission to look in there," she snapped, voice trembling now, not from power, but fear. The Attorney General's gaze hardened. "Step aside." Karen tried to hold her ground. "This is private property." He raised his brow. "Interesting. 10 seconds ago you said this was your HOA vehicle. Which is it?" Her mouth opened, then shut. She stuttered something, but the two fake cops weren't so smooth. They looked at each other, realizing the trap. And one of them started edging back toward the driver's seat. I beat him to it. A quick step, a hand on the door, and I yanked it open before he could jump inside. Papers spilled out onto the gravel, dozens of forged violation letters. Eviction threats, even fake sheriff reports. Some already had neighbors' names written across the top. The Attorney General crouched down, picking one up. He read it carefully. Then looked up at Karen with the kind of stare that could peel paint. "You've been running a scam," he said. "Targeting families, threatening them off their own land. Pretending to be law enforcement." Karen's face twisted, caught between rage and desperation. No, that's not mine." "They did it," she shouted, pointing at the fake cops. But the taller one snapped back, "Don't put this on us, you told us to." That was it. The last mask dropped. Her whole empire of fake power crumbled right there on the gravel. And yet, Karen didn't back down. She lunged forward, grabbed one of the papers, and tore it in half. "You can't prove anything," she screamed. "Without those, you've got nothing." The Attorney General didn't even flinch. He reached into his coat, pulled out his phone, and turned the screen toward her. A red light blinked in the corner. He had been recording her every word since she knocked on my cabin door. Karen's hands shook. For the first time, she had nothing to say. But I knew this wasn't over. Because when she glanced back at the lake, I caught it, the look. Not defeat. Not fear. Calculation. She still had another move planned. The air felt heavy, like the storm that hadn't yet broken. Karen's eyes darted toward the lake again. That flicker of calculation sharper now. I followed her gaze, and that's when I heard it. The low rumble of an engine coming across the water. A black speedboat cut through the calm surface, slicing toward the dock like it owned the place. 2 more men stood inside, dressed the same way as the fake cops, dark uniforms. Fake badges shining under the sun. One of them shouted as the boat slowed, "We got your call, ma'am. We'll handle this." Karen's lips curled into a triumphant smile. "You think I'm alone?" she hissed. The Attorney General glanced at me, calm but alert. He whispered, "Looks like she's built herself an army of imposters." The boat slammed into the dock, and the men jumped off, stomping toward us like they were marching on command. Karen stood straighter, her fake confidence restored. "These are real officers. They'll put you both in cuffs." The Attorney General didn't even bother hiding his smirk. "Funny," he muttered, reaching into his coat again. This time, he pulled out a small radio. He pressed the button, his voice crisp and steady. "Unit 7, you're up." For a second, nothing happened. Karen folded her arms, smug again. But then, rustling in the trees behind us. Heavy boots. Real uniforms. The sound of slides racking on real rifles. Within seconds, a line of actual state troopers stepped out of the woods. Weapons trained, badges glinting under the sun. Karen spun around, her face drained white. The fake officers froze mid-step, realizing they'd just walked into a wall of real authority. One of the troopers barked, "Hands where we can see them." The imposters hesitated, but when rifles leveled, they dropped their fake weapons on the gravel. Karen looked like she'd just been gutted. She stammered, This isn't fair. You set me up." The Attorney General's voice was steel. "No. You set yourself up." For a moment, the whole world went quiet, just the breeze, the soft lapping of lake water, and Karen's shallow breathing. And that's when she did something I never expected. She bolted. Straight toward the woods. But I knew where those woods led. To a hidden path. to something she'd been keeping secret. Karen's footsteps cracked branches as she tore into the woods, her shrill voice echoing through the trees. "You'll never prove it. You don't know where it is." The Attorney General nodded at the troopers, but he didn't chase. Instead, he looked at me. "She's not running blind. She's running to something. You know these woods better than anyone. Where does that path go?" I hesitated. That trail wasn't just a shortcut. It wound down the ridge, to an abandoned ranger station, boarded up years ago. Locals whispered it had been broken into, used for shady deals. "She's going to the station," I said. The Attorney General's eyes narrowed. "Then that's where we end this." We moved fast, crunching over pine needles, the troopers fanning out in silence. When we broke through the tree line, I froze. The ranger station wasn't abandoned anymore. The boards were ripped off the windows, the inside glowing with the hum of generators. Out front, stacked in neat piles, were boxes, dozens of them, stuffed with forged HOA letters, fake citations, and property deeds with falsified signatures. Karen was already there, frantically yanking files out of a safe hidden under the porch. She stuffed them into a duffel bag like a thief caught in daylight. When she saw us, she screamed, "These aren't yours. You can't take them." The Attorney General stepped forward, voice like stone. "You built a business off destroying families, stealing homes, threatening children. It ends now." Karen clutched the duffel bag tighter, her face wild. "No. You don't understand. This isn't just me, there are people above me. If I go down, they'll..." She cut herself off, realizing she'd said too much. The Attorney General caught it. "Above you." His tone sharpened. "Who's funding this?" Karen's mouth opened, then snapped shut. Her eyes flicked back and forth, like a cornered animal searching for a way out. Then, with a sudden burst of defiance, she threw the duffel bag at me and bolted deeper into the station. Papers spilled everywhere, names and addresses scattering across the dirt. I picked one up, and my stomach twisted. It wasn't just random families. It was veterans, widows, immigrants. All targeted. The Attorney General met my eyes. His jaw clenched. "This is bigger than her." From inside the station came the sound of a door slamming. Karen had vanished into a hidden tunnel. And the real question now wasn't just about Karen. It was about who she was working for. We rushed into the station, flashlights cutting through the dust and shadows. But Karen was gone, swallowed by that hidden tunnel. The Attorney General ordered the troopers to seal every path out. Yet I knew in my gut she wouldn't be caught so easily. People like her always had another escape route. The files scattered across the floor told the real story. This wasn't a lone, HOA Karen with too much free time. She was a pawn in a bigger game, a network feeding on fear. Forged notices, fake deputies, stolen deeds, all designed to strip people of the one thing Americans hold sacred, their homes. The Attorney General knelt, gathering the papers with steady hands. "This is enough," he said, voice low but resolute. "Even if she runs, these files tie her and whoever's above her to crimes that won't disappear. Families will get their land back. Veterans won't be tossed out. This ends today." For a long moment, we stood in silence. The lake breeze drifted through the broken windows, carrying the scent of pine and water. The chaos, the shouting, the fake cops, it was all gone. Just quiet now. But I couldn't shake the image of Karen vanishing underground. Her last words echoing in my head, "There are people above me." The Attorney General rose, slipping one of the forged deeds into his coat. "She'll resurface. And when she does, we'll be ready." I looked out across the lake, the cabin still standing firm at the edge of the water. My land. My fight. My freedom. And though Karen had slipped through our fingers, she left behind the very thing she feared most, proof. Sometimes justice doesn't come with handcuffs in the moment. Sometimes it comes with patience, paper, and truth. But when it comes, it sticks forever.